America 2007 continues from Maturin's Monumental Stadium in the east of Venezuela. Brazil versus Chile. The second match for both of these sides. Must win for Brazil, and a good result here for Chile could well assure them of a spot in the knockout stage. Phil Shane along with Ray Hudson, and of course glad you could join us. These two sides coming in today with a lot of stories on the line as far as Chile goes, trying to build off one of the more amazing comebacks in this tournament so far, coming from a goal down against Ecuador with 2 in the last 10 minutes. But Ray, when we take a look at Brazil, it looks as though a lot of the blame has been put on Diego. He's on the bench. A lot of pressure on Dunga.
No question, the coach has got to come through with an emphatic result here today. First and foremost, they had a bad rehearsal against Mexico, but Mexico were fair and square winners against this Brazilian side. It's time for Dunga to really galvanise his team and put out against this dangerous sort of team in Chile. They've got a lot of heart. It sets up for a great game, this one, because for me, this Chile team still believe in each other. They've got the impetus, they've got the confidence, but this Brazil side are going to be desperate to win against a team that's going to be difficult to break down in Chile.
Carlos Torres, the Paraguayan referee, with the captains exchanging banners. Temperature in the 90s today, and in fact looks like some weather is coming in as you see the breeze picking up. Donny, another late addition in goal. Maicon, Juan, Alex, and Gilberto in the back. Gilberto Silva, Mineiro, Elano, Anderson in for Diego, and Robinho with Wagner Love. Somewhat controversial still in the attack for Dunga. For Chile, again it'll be Claudio Bravo with Ormeño, Rifo, Fuentes along the back. Mark Gonzalez, who will be out on the left wing. Sanhuesa in the midfield. Melendez, the defensive mid. Jara will also be helping out on the defensive side. Contreras, the anchor in the back. Maldivia, how long can he go? He has an injury problem. Humberto Suazo. Can Chupete do it again for Nelson Acosta? We've got the opening kickoff when we come back. Brazil, Chile, 2007. Copa America continues. Maldivia, he is the maestro on this side, and there you take a look at Pablo Contreras, who is the anchor in the back line. Claudio Bravo in goal. This is a very good Chilean squad, but Nelson Acosta and Valdivia made no secret. They come in here as underdogs, maybe playing the press a little bit, but I think everyone expects this Brazil to explode. If they don't, it would be a huge blow.
It will be a big surprise, but you said it right, Phil. The Chilean coach, Nelson Acosta, came out in the press and said, we are a good team that sometimes plays well. And when they were up against Ecuador, they said he didn't think they played too well. That gentleman is looking for improved performance from a team who's already got one set of 3 points in the bag. And against the Brazilians, everybody likes to step up. He should have a cracking game in store here.
We are underway. Taking a look at these sides, at least on paper, it appears as though Brazil will pretty much play a 4-4-1-1. Maybe 4-3-2-1 in that upside-down Christmas tree. Donny again in place of Helton in goal. And here comes Brazil right down the gut, running into the mix for Sanhuesa, who is whistled for the foul. He says he got the ball, but regardless, Torres blows the whistle. Alex and Juan, the two center backs, and both had some questions, especially the youngster out of PSV. Maicon on the right, Gilberto on the left. Mineiro is the man that keeps Brazil solid. Elano on the right, Gilberto Silva somewhat in the center. Anderson can go left or right. Robinho goes wherever he wants. And Wagner Love, at least for Brazil's sake, hopefully goes towards the goal. Claudio Bravo about 2-3 yards off his line in the center of the park as this restart off the boot of Anderson. Reportedly $40 million to pry him away from Porto to Manchester United. Can you imagine him and Cristiano Ronaldo on the same pitch?
Exciting stuff ahead of Old Trafford.
Deflected to the near side. Anderson gets there first, lifts it back towards the spot, cleared away. For Chile, 3 men in the back, Rifo, Contreras, and Fuentes. Ormeño will help out on the right, Jara on the left, Rodrigo Melendez in the middle. Sanhuesa, Valdivia, and Gonzalez are the attacking mids with Humberto Suazo all by his lonesome up front. Here's Mineiro.
Brazil, right from the get-go, settling into their samba football. They weren't allowed to do much of this against Mexico, Phil. Mexico played a textbook sort of game, really got into them and rattled their cage and frustrated them, Dunga's men, all game long. And Chile will look to see if they can take a leaf out of their book.
Carlos Torres, the Paraguayan, with Rodolfo Otero from Argentina on the near side. Venezuelan Luis Sanchez on the far. Sergio Pesota, pretty good ref game earlier in this tournament, will be the fourth official here today. Here at Monumental, this one of the hotbeds of Venezuelan soccer, as you might be able to tell. A lot of passion on display. 400 buses were needed to get the fans here. A lot of them Venezuelan, but see Brazil, Chile, you'll see a lot of Mexican flags, and of course Ecuador not that far away. Here's Anderson, tripped up, play on as he tried to get the foul, does not get the call. Looking to take it back, and then eventually passing it off was Rifo. Soft touch inside, Sanhueza. He'll be the guy that moves around a bit. Sanhueza basically taking the place of David Pizarro on this side. Dribbling his way through the middle, passed off near side, looking for Wagner Love, but cleared away by the Chilean defense, and a throw-in.
You said at the start of this game, I used the word desperate for Brazil, a word that really is not too accurate altogether. By saying desperate, Phil, I mean completely and utterly eager and hungry. That desperation that is needed for these 3 points. Well, right from the get-go, you can see this Brazilian side are really looking very, very sharp, finding each other, and very brave and direct in their attack.
Rolling on the near side, Alvaro Ormeño, as the rain starting to trickle in. It was very calm about an hour ago here as the temperature was in the 90s, but as most of you who live in the tropics or subtropics might be aware, right around this time of day, the rain can pour in, and it looks as though it'll be a cooling effect. The breeze seems to have died a little bit as the rain picks up, and from a player's perspective, this actually helps a little bit. Rather play in temperature like this and a little bit of drizzle than 95 degrees.
It's perfect for the Brazilians, that slick surface.
Just past Wagner.
Just leads to slick passing. It makes it easier for the skilled players and puts the onus on the defenders to really be careful. If we needed a little bit of a spicier ingredient, the good Lord sending a nice little shower to coat this beautiful slick surface now.
Elano coming over from his right wing position. First corner of the game goes for Brazil. Launched into the middle, grabbed by Bravo. And you could see it almost slip away, but Bravo, the Sociedad-based keeper, able to hold on. Sociedad going down to the second division, but you can hardly blame Claudio Bravo. Picked up for just $1.5 million, and that might be one of the buys of the tournament. I have a feeling they'll be back up in no time. Ball pushed forward. Mark Gonzalez coming across to the right side. Didn't see that much Liverpool tide. Drop back for Melendez. Melendez passes it off. Sanhueza on the turn. The Colo-Colo midfielder out towards the flank, and here's Jara. Jara forward, skips past Gonzalez as he comes back, and now launched long upfield. 3 defenders in the back. Nelson Acosta loves that. Basically a 3-4-2-1, but we'll see a little bit more of Sanhueza in the attack. Here's Anderson again. Anderson with a shirt tug. Which way will it go? He thought he was bumped, but the linesman on the far side, Sanchez, the Venezuelan, saw the pull, and now he's going to get a talking to from the referee Carlos Torres for his rather obvious disagreement.
Been appealing for a couple of dodgy decisions there, but this referee's called everything right so far. There's a good look at the keeper. Claudio was absolutely superb for Real Sociedad, as you said, Phil. And they actually had one of the best defenses in La Liga. Incredibly took the drop.
Kind of puts that old axiom of championships are won with defense right in the garbage bin.
Absolutely. There's a super goalkeeper, and it'll take a good quality goal from Brazil if they're going to get past that last line of defense for Chile.
Gilberto throws it back. Here's Juan. Juan scrambling a little bit in the last game, but that was in large part because Alex's Phenom counterpart along the back line, soon to be moving over to Chelsea according to the rumors. Had a rather rough go in his 9th start. Here's Robinho. And again, something that we saw a little bit too much of in the first game. Here's some wonders, but taken down from behind. Robinho needs to get other players involved.
Well, he's trying to do it the hard way himself, but believe me, those beautiful eyes of Robinho's looking up to try to find if he can bring a man in. But that was a wonderful ground shot. They show you the scintillating skill of the Real Madrid player, taking his players on with those beautiful step overs and then looking to dish it off, get it back. This is dangerous.
Four-man in the wall. 8th minute. Torres saying wait for the whistle. Now one will peel off.
Be a brave strike from Elenau if he does go for goal. I think the service will be the one that he'll be looking at, and it is poor one.
Deflected by Valdivia, cleared away by Chile to midfield. Chile definitely a little lower in the trophy case haul in this tournament. Brazil has won it 7 times. 3rd behind Argentina and Uruguay, who have won twice as much. Won in 97, 99, and 04 is Brazil starting to pick up the pace. Chile's best finish is 2nd. They've done that 3 times, but not in the last 20 years. 9th minute. Gilberto forward, Robinho, another foul against Chile. He wants to take it quick. Looked like it could have been a yellow card. Now Valdivia delaying things. Let's see if he goes in the book. Torres trying to hold off on giving a yellow as long as possible, but looks like these two sides are almost begging for one.
A little bit of spice and vinegar here, that's good. Chile not backing down from the superstar. Referee doing well. Good man management by the bald man in black.
Valdivia very familiar with the Brazilian-based players. In fact, if you take a look at these players, he might be the best player in Brazil among the 22 on the pitch right now, one of the stars at Palmeiras.
And for Chile, there's a good unity about them in terms of, for the players of the starting lineup, Phil, coming from the great Colo Colo. But that's a good understanding between those 4 players, littered throughout this team in red.
Valdivia also a Colo Colo product. On his way over to the big green. Foul from behind is Sanhuesa knocked down. 3 fouls apiece. That one a message from Gilberto Silva.
Of course, my old ex-teammate for the Fort Lauderdale Strikers, Chilean Eduardo Bonvaler, El Guru, as he's called down there. Controversial as ever, Bonvaler, but what a cracking player he was. And I also, of course, had the fortune of playing with one of the great Chilean players in Figueroa. Yeah, he's in!
Headed up and just off target. Donny looked frozen again.
Shocking defending here by Brazil. And the boss comes out of his dugout, Acosta, and he will have serious words on that finish by Gonzalez. Dunga's not happy. The 2 central defenders, Juan and Alex, were all at sea, marking nobody, and 2 casual in defence outweighed. The Brazil fullbacks, Maicon and Gilberto, of course, have been pushing up all game long, Phil. It's in the Brazilian DNA to leave them fullback positions and join in, but man, you talk about standing off a player outweighed.
Well, they need a lot of help from Mineiro in those 2 center back spots. And that one, I don't think you can even blame on those 3. A little high boot, dangerous play, and a free kick for Chile. Again, goes to show that, well, Chile will play to defend, try and keep this game close as long as possible. When they have the opportunities, they'll take them.
Well, when they're given opportunities like that as well, they'll be in and down your throat, because as you say, Phil, they do have a class in their own up front, especially in Suazo.
Ball blasted all the way to the back line. Contreras with some help. Rifo on the near side. Pablo blasted long himself, brought down Gonzalez, but off the knee. Now fighting for it with Alex.
Fabulous ball out of the back. This isn't just a long, hopeful ball. This is a pinpoint ball out the back, and it's number 11 again, Gonzalez, who lets it skid away from him. Poor header earlier, and this time poor left foot to bring it under control, because he gets a nice settling touch, Phil, and he is in one-on-one on Donny.
Born in Durban, his dad a footballer that played in South Africa. Elected to play for his Chilean side. Great touch ball to the middle. Robinho gets rid of it, gets it back. Now fighting for it against Contreras back out to Anderson. Quick chip back post, and there's Claudio Bravo using all of his 6'1" frame.
Typical cut and thrust, give and go football on the move by the yellow shirts, led by Rubinho. As you were saying there, Phil, that's what he's all about. He brings players in.
Nice ball, Valdivia. Suazo has not gotten a touch yet. And now Gonzalez tripped up by Juan.
No containing Gonzalez here. Juan is ends up resorting to the chopping axe. Here you see, that's cynical by Juan.
Seeing a lot more in the center than we have in recent years. Gonzalez has been plagued by injuries in the past, both in the under-20, the national team side. Now suiting up for Real Betis and hopefully staying healthy for their and his nation.
As you said, Phil, the two defenders for Brazil, the twin towers there, Alex and Juan. Alex especially for me, man. What a great little footballer this guy's going to be.
Needs to pick it up from the first game, and
for sure.
So far looks like he has, but Gonzalez looked like he had him beat with a good touch. Let's see what happens here. Ball blasted low, skips through. Ooh. Did it come off a Brazilian boot? Donny thought so and tried to touch it. It looks like it'll go out for the corner kick.
Donny does try to save it, took a little bit of a deflection. But it's on about Alex, the number 3 for the yellow shirts. If you're not familiar with him, scored a tremendous goal for PSV in the Champions League to send your team out. To send the Gunners out. Arsenal, of course, falling to Alex.
Valdivia makes the near post run. They'll play it short. Holds, gets it back outside of the boot. Gonzalez, not a bad idea. No one really fought for it. Suazo taking his time.
Good clearance there by Alex.
Jara to the middle.
Nothing.
Snapped up but off target. And wide it goes. Dunga settles back into the bench.
Well, Acosta is going to be very pleased in the opening exchanges in this game, Phil. It was all Brazil in the early going. They were really pressing forward. They'll be doing it the entire game. We all know they will. But this Chilean side are not holding back. They're not bunkering in, as the terminology of the day explains nicely. But they are coming to play in midfield, playing nice.
And there's Valdivia, no signs of a left groin pull here. Runs into Mineiro and taken right back, and now Juan pushing forward. Here's Anderson. Again, Diego taking the blame for the first loss. He's sitting, and the youngster out of Porto is out there. Here's Suazo. Chupete brings it back. A brace in the first game had helped the stage for the comeback.
A wonderful hitman, of course. Went to Mexico for an enormous amount of money, of course.
Launched all the way to the near side. Was it $10 million? And that's a lot of record.
That's a lot of money for the Mexicans to play, no question. But Suazo certainly worth every dime.
Now flying down the line is Ormeño. Alvaro doesn't see anything develop, drops it back. Nice bit of build-up here. In fact, much of the possession the last 10 minutes has been to the boys in green and red.
Totally neat and quick.
Hard challenge won, but the foul. And a free kick here, and again, it's Marc Gonzalez.
He's been well involved, hasn't he? Marc doing great. Pushing onto this Brazilian back line and challenging the big man with his dexterity and pace. And referee Torres has seen enough of this. He'll be in the boot next time. Feels as if he got the ball. He certainly did, but he went through the player to get it.
Something also interesting here with Valdivia out there and Mati Fernandez not. Looks as though Gonzalez getting a lot more responsibility to cut to the middle, just as though Diego taking some of the blame for the offensive inadequacies. Remember, Chile was not putting out any lights or fires in their first half, and Fernandez was pulled, and that's when Chile's comeback started.
For sure.
Donny trying to start his defense in the right position. Move over. Gilberto.
Strange exclusion by the Chileans, leaving out Matias Fernandez, Phil.
Skips through.
Talk about him being a little tired. Well, I'm not so sure how tired a 21-year-old can be, to be quite honest. And he didn't have exactly the most taxing season in Spain, but the boss, Acosta, has left.
Wagner dribbles
Matias
through
out.
one. Grifo and Contreras. Wide pitch here, but not wide enough to keep that one in play. Rain has let up. Back calm. Could get a little humid here. Maldivia's foul. Fourth of the game against Chile.
Certainly got a real edge to this game. The Chileans pulling out their own swords as well. Really fighting fire with fire.
Anderson out of Porto Alegre. Down in the south where Ronaldinho came from. Doesn't just look like him. Let's see what he can do off this restart.
There's Big Alex there. The number 3, look out for his bunch. He'll be crashing in on this one.
Anderson
No, he
lifting
won't.
it
That's
over.
terrible. Absolutely woeful.
And listen to the crowd, and Dunga popping off the bench.
Well, the crowd's whistling at the Brazilian shirts, and Dunga can hear them. Basically, the crowd saying, hell, I could do better than that. That was a pathetic free kick, Phil.
19 years of age, best player in the Under-17 World Cup a couple of years ago. Many think that will translate to the man who debuted at Grêmio at the age of 16. This does not look good. Coming to the sideline, Melendez. And they will bring the stretcher out. Normally when you see a player like this, does not look good. He wants to walk off under his own power, but he might need to be replaced. 19th minute, still no score. Brazil and Chile as Melendez comes to the sideline.
This portion of the game is brought to you by OleOle.com, where fans kick off.
Manuel Iturra, the 23-year-old out of Uda, Chile, will be the man stepping in, and that's going to be a big loss. Melendez was basically the rock that was standing in Brazil's way up the middle.
You're right, Phil. He was doing a good job protecting that back line for Chile. And he's obviously one of those spiritual type of players that is infectious in his sort of one-man battleship personality. So that is a bad miss, a bad exclusion now. Melendez having to go to the locker room with that injury. Tough break for Chile.
Iturra, meanwhile, just turning 23, his 16th cap. 5'9", 143 pounds. That's about 30 pounds less than Melendez. Let's see what type of bite he has. Here's Jara. Over to Suazo.
Good ball.
Maldivia can't control. Gets some help. Maldivia cutting up to the middle. And a foul in the 20th minute.
Silva this time being victimized by his pace.
Fun player to watch.
He'll take the Brazilians on, Valdivia. Here you see, it's all vim and vigor. And De Silva there absolutely wiping him out. Gilberto.
Came up through Colo-Colo. Very early went to the same club that Casey Keller played at in Spain, in Rayo Vallecano. Then Servet returned to Colo-Colo before shining there, and then on to Palmeiras, where he's played the last couple of seasons. And little doubt who's the man in charge here. Lifts it forward off the free kick, headed high into the air off target, into the roof of the net. And still no score. Brazil yet without a shot.
Yeah, you see plenty of Brazilian support in the stands. Lots of those golden yellow shirts, but they're looking on at this Brazilian side and they've got to be scratching their heads a little bit. This is a national team that really, Phil, is in big transition. Dunga has been very good with the broom, sweeping out a lot of the old blood, the likes of Roberto Carlos, Cafu, Emerson, even Ronaldo perhaps, but I think Ronaldo will be back. But this side lacks a lot of experience playing together. That's how Brazil really treat this tournament in their history. But with Dunga as well, let's remember, he's a rookie coach as well. I mean, he's a fabulous player, great captain. Didn't have any management experience coming into this team when he took over. And they've done very well in the 10 games that they've played since the World Cup. They've only lost one game, Brazil, and that was against Portugal in London. But this team looking a little bit a little bit strange by Brazilians' high standards.
Well, it's been 202 minutes since they have last scored a goal.
There you go. That ain't Brazil.
That late tying goal by Diego at Wembley. And then Turkey and Mexico held scoreless.
That's a great example there of Alex's strength, man. He leaps absolutely beautiful, like Ayala type. Great timing. So strong.
Off to the near side, it's Gilberto. Gilberto Robinho, back to Gilberto.
Good touch.
Gilberto cuts through Fuentes and now blasted away by Ormeño on the cover, but back to Robinho it goes. Valdivia playing some defense. Anderson slots Robinho into the area, but forgot something on the way. Rifo off his hand, dances through the challenge and now looking for the opening. Again Robinho deflects out, and it looks like a goal kick. Claudio Bravo applauds the defense, but it took a lot of effort.
No, Rifo does very well standing up to the trickery of Robinho. And you see how many shirts are headed around him. He has the final reach in, asking for a handball there. Certainly nothing like a handball. But Robinho, when he drives into the box, you'll see how many red shirts are lined up against him and behind him, covering him. Robinho looking to dish that ball away, but no passage through for him that time. Good play again.
Off to the far side, Cara. He was a question mark here. Only his 8th appearance. Another guy in that 05 World Youth Cup. Now a bump and another foul, and this one's going to result in a yellow card. So much for Cara's clean play, at least.
It's a bit of a harsh card, I believe, this one, but it's a great run from Maicon, the Interman, up that right side. Looks like he's dislocated his shoulder, possibly, Phil, on the fall. It wasn't too hard of a tackle around his legs, but certainly, yeah, he's in severe distress here.
Land awkwardly, could be the shoulder, could be the
touch
collarbone.
away there, but there's the heavy fall, and he feels it right away. Very little, but travelling at speed there, the Interman was a big, big part of Inter Milan's tremendous success in Serie A last year. Dunga wanting a little bit more from his key man, Gilberto.
Maicon out of Cruzeiro, went over to Monaco and then over to Inter Milan. Debuted back in the 2003 Gold Cup and now in the Copa America. Another member of that 06 relatively disappointing World Cup squad that's looking for a little bit of respect. And you know what? That's pretty much what they've gotten to this Copa America, little respect.
Really?
And it is the shoulder.
Aye, aye.
And they're given the signal for a substitute.
Absolutely,
He's gone.
yep. He's done for the day, it looks like. Yep, they want a change. He's coming out.
Well, Dani Alves came in late. That would definitely put a change on this. They also have Kleber if they want more of a disciplined left back for Santos, but I wouldn't be surprised if we see Dani Alves because the offense looks like it needs an injection as well. 26th minute. Off to the near side, Gilberto. At this point, Alex getting a little help from Elano on the right side. And you see Brazil staying left as they're a man down. Valdivia sticks a boot in and wins it.
Good defending by Chile again, Phil. They're not just relying on man-to-man mark, and they are covering for each other extremely impressively. And as you said, what a substitute to come in here. Dani Alves, if indeed it is him. Absolutely tremendous player. And it is. What a lightning rod this boy is out of the back. Wonderful, wonderful football, as we saw all year long here on Goal TV.
Here comes the ball looking for Wagner, but can't find him. Deflected away. No foul called. Alves getting his start in outside of the Rio and Sao Paulo dominated areas at Bahia out of Cruzeiro. But since he went over to Sevilla after a very successful World Youth Championship where Brazil won in 03, he has been practically unstoppable. Don't be surprised if you see him in white or the Blaugrana before too long. Maybe even next year.
Absolutely. Great player, of course. Plays his club football for Sevilla. And there'll be nobody joining in more on this attack than Daniel Alves. always, and he knocks some beautiful service in. We'll see. It's a great amount of time that he's got to impress here. He can play nice little through balls. He's got a wicked shot. He can play great crosses in from deep. But Dunga in the background there, poor Maicon.
That rain knocking the temperature down just a bit. You wonder also if that rain might have had an impact here, maybe as far as footing goes, but just looking at the way he's holding that, would you guess shoulder or collarbone?
Hard as hell.
There's Alves off the corner, second of the game for Brazil. Blasted low near post, Valdivia clears.
Nice clearance.
And out it goes off the boot of Manuel Iturra.
That clearance though, just again, it's pure class by Chile. Valdivia finding Suazo with an intentional header. Nowhere.
Slips through, no one there.
Nicely marshalled at the back here. Contreras doing a tremendous job for Chile. Right in front of him. There's Danny.
Alves slides it through. Anderson, return pass. Alves actually slowed down, play on off the strong tackle. I think that was the substitute, Iturra, who put in the hard hit.
What a great tackle there. Iturra lays down in front of Alves, sacrifices his body. Beautiful time tackle, just like that one by Juan.
And there is Iturra. Well, I think there's our answer as to how much Melendez will be missed. Iturra keeps it up, not much.
You're right. Look, they're in.
Gonzalez low, and Donny smothers it.
It's Gonzalez who is the hot potato here. Suazo having very few limited opportunities, but it doesn't matter. Mark Gonzalez being very active across that front line for Chile.
A lot of the attackers' tricks are not working. I see a lot of the bumps, and Torres seems to be catching shirt tugs and little arm grabs because he's calling fouls that do not quite go with Robinho's view of things.
It's a whole different sort of attack for Chile. They've got a lot more direct play in their midfield, whereas Brazil taking a little bit too long with their beautiful, intricate passing, and really they're playing pretty patterns all over the field, but they're not as direct as what Chile is.
Anderson goes in strong, and the challenge against Fuentes will be ruled, and now it looks like Humberto Suazo's mouth is getting him in trouble. No, he's saying way back there, so it was a tackle earlier, so play on for Torres, and he comes back and gives the yellow. Second yellow card against Chile. Take a look.
2 feet, Phil. He leaves his feet here. That's a bad tackle, no question, and it's by Contreras.
But that's not the yellow.
But it was Suazo who let the referee know with his verbals. Looks a bit like Mussolini firing from the balcony there, Suazo.
So Jara and Suazo both with yellows for Chile. Suazo, that might have just provided the spark. Anderson just extinguished it though. Through ball, Elano. Can't grab hold, Anderson. Now over to Mineiro. That's the first time we've seen number 7 in a while. Alves from long range. Didn't miss by much. Well, he's very familiar. Sevilla Sociedad, hooking up a couple of times this year.
Dani Alves sees it. As soon as he sees the whites of the goalpost, he is pulling the trigger. But Claudio Bravo's got it covered all day.
First shot of the game for Brazil. 31st minute, Brazil and Chile still no score in the second game for both in this 2007 Copa America. Bill Shane, Ray Hudson with you. Something we have not mentioned. One of the reasons Wagner Love might still be out there is the fact that Fred is unavailable. The Lyon-based striker, member of the World Cup 06 team, broke a metatarsal in practice this week. He's actually been sent home for recovery. He's gone for the tournament. At this point, Dunga, when you look up front, basically stuck. He has Julio Baptista, who was working out with the first team for a while, but as far as straight out and out forwards. The only other one is Afonso Alves.
Mineiro there on that far side, getting gifted the ball and then just cheaply giving it away. It's
Soft
very
touch.
un-Brazilian-like.
Valdivia, Gonzalez knocked down as good defense by Dani Alves.
This portion of the game is brought to you
Entertaining
by
first half, and for those of you who
OleOle.com,
thought
where
Brazil would
fans
come out
kick off.
with a house on fire, hasn't quite happened yet, thanks to Chile, but what happens here? Robinho stops, goes around, but the flag had come up first and offside. Luis Sanchez with a good flag. Dunga now 46 years of age. Looks like he could still go out there and put on his yellow jersey. Talked about him cleaning house. Well, question comes, if you put Kaká and Ronaldinho out there and maybe even toss Lucio in the back, is the supporting cast good enough? That's a question Dunga's going to have to answer, and hopefully, for his sake, he'll be answering it in the knockout round. But if Chile comes away with a victory here today, or at least a result, there's a good chance Brazil could be in serious trouble of even making the next round. Elano. Gilberto. Deflected. Out comes Bravo. A collision in the 6th, and the whistle blows. A penalty for Brazil, and relief.
Very, very hard decision for the referee to make this one, but he takes the brave one, Phil. I'm not a whole lot sure that there was pure intention here. See, the ball takes a wicked deflection. There's definitely contact, but he goes down very easily. This will be a great angle. There's unquestionable contact on the player right here, but oh man, how many games have we seen, Phil, in this competition where clear penalties have not been given, where players in the box have been bundled off of the ball, and there's a mere sneeze of contact here on the yellow shirts, and Brazil get a real good slice of good fortune.
Wagner Love caught the tailwind and flew down to the turf.
What do you think, man? I'm not so sure.
In all honesty, I think some of those penalties, in quotes, that were not called, I would rather agree with that. I don't want to say it's the English style of refereeing, but play tough. Here is the exact opposite.
It looks as if there's heavy contact by the way he goes down, but I'm not so sure. But again, a player coming in like that, you saw the Chilean shirt. There was a reach out with his hand, and really, what was the point of that? It's actually drawing the referee's attention to you. If whoever it was that played the man in the box, if he keeps his hands down and there's incidental contact of a tangle of legs at the bottom, probably Torres doesn't give it. But I think Torres saw that reach in by the Chile defender with his arm.
24-year-old keeper out of Santiago backs up to his line, taking on Robinho. 5 goals in his Brazilian career, looking for number 6, and this would be huge. 36th minute, 10 minutes left in the half.
Remember, Bravo is not supposed to leave his lane. Let's see if it happens that way. It really does.
Robinho waiting for the whistle, not even looking up, just eyes glued to the ball.
He's an aggressive keeper, this guy.
Bravo. Heels on the line, dancing side to side. Shot, got a finger to it, but couldn't keep it out. Did Bravo, but Robinho puts Brazil on the board. A huge goal, a huge weight off the shoulders of Dunga.
Certainly big pressure relieved off him. And he's a little fortunate in more ways than one, because Robinho's penalty kick is not a Brazilian classic. The goalkeeper guesses right. He's read it. The pace of Robinho's kick is what beats him. Unlucky. Bravo, so close.
So Robinho with the penalty kick. How much does that change things?
Well, Chile have played well. They've been aggressive in the midfield. They've been supporting in the attack with Gonzalez. And Suazo and the referee's not happy at all with this protesting by Acosta, but Acosta saying, "You got to be kidding me." And I think he has a case, Phil, but he's making his case plainly heard.
Robinho, calm under pressure, but like you said, a little bit fortunate.
Well, it was a good run into the box by Wagner Love, but that deflection took the ball away anyhow, but that doesn't matter.
We'll see what's happening on the near side. The fourth official, the Argentine Sergio Pesota, coming over to the Chilean bench. I'm wondering if someone got tossed here. And I'm wondering if it's Acosta. Ismael Fuentes, who plays over Jaguares in Mexico, the one in the red shirt trying to come over. Acosta.
Wonderful bedside manner the referee's got. Torres seeing nicely and handling it very cool. I think you're right, maybe one of the substitutes got a little bit too over the top and really boiled over in front of the fourth official.
Might be Jorge Vargas.
Being
That's the
reported
backup
to
keeper,
the referee, and that's what's been happening.
If it's the backup keeper, that's huge. If it's just a regular field player, the yellow card. So Vargas a little fortunate, and that's what we were waiting for. The Argentine fourth catching something.
Well, it's all centered around, obviously, the controversy of the penalty, and you can look at it two ways. You really can, because the run into the box by Love was very strong. When the ball was dealt away from it, it became less of a threat, but either there was a tangle of feet. I still think that reaching of the arm is what referee Torres saw and punished Chile for.
Throw in far side. Mark Gonzalez has been held in check
This
for
will
the last
allow
15 minutes.
This will allow Brazil now that wonderful luxury of that little bit more settlement on the ball, playing with confidence now.
Hard challenge. Alves goes down. They've already lost one left back, and now he's grabbing his leg.
It's a late challenge as well. Nasty, right through.
Looked like it might be Iturra. Maybe Jara, who's already playing with the yellow.
I think it was Jara, Phil. Came in sliding.
There's Vargas.
As we said, just boiled over when he saw the penalty go against his team.
Well, top of the box, and now Pesota having a chat with Dunga, explaining what has been going on. Ball still in play far side. Alves appears to be okay. Gets it back from Mineiro, who's pushing forward. Here's Wagner Love. Mas Contreras. And now Rifo. And Ormeño loses his footing. Elano's come over to the near side. It looks like he's switched with Anderson. A back heel that just missed out. Throwing near side, Ormeño. 28-year-old. Plays at Gimnasio y Esgrima de la Plata in Argentina. Came up through Chase Hilgenbrink's old Nublense. Throw in for Suazo. Suazo against Juan. Coverage from Gilberto, perfect. And now under control, takes the pressure off. Back out for Fuentes.
Well, when a penalty goes against you like that, and it's certainly decidedly controversial and close, the pressure falls onto the referee, Torres, to call it both ways, because I'll guarantee you once Suazo gets into that box alongside Gonzalez, they will be going to ground very easy and putting the pressure. And let's remember, these boys at the back for Brazil have been a little bit rash and heavy on their tackles. So if Chile can press the game and get into that penalty box, they will be looking, not to say that they're going to cheat, of course, but a little bit of gamesmanship.
Here's Suazo. Is starting to get some of the touches. Now, another throw-in coming Chile's way. Just about 3 minutes left to go. Suazo again. But with him out, they need someone in the middle. Valdivia might just be the man. Lifted up.
The ball is in!
Diving header, and Donny is there. It cleared Alex. And a great ball backside, looked like Jara. Or maybe Gonzalez.
Tremendous football here by Chile. This is a fabulous seeing ball. He's onside. He goes in for the diving header, but just cannot angle it away from Donny. But lovely build-up by Chile.
Ball from Alves to the center. Mineiro off to Elano.
He actually could have stepped into the ball, couldn't he, Phil? He went for the diving header, but thought he could have swept it home with his right foot on the half volley.
Alves again. Gets past Gonzalez, off to Anderson.
It's a tough tackling game, this, man.
High into the air by Fuentes, and now Contreras takes the tumble. 12th foul against Brazil, 7 against Chile. We've already seen 4 yellow cards. Fourth minute. 1-0 goal. 36th minute from Robinho from the spot. And now Gilberto gets tangled up with Suazo. Play on.
Neither player backing down there. Elbows, arms flying around. Suazo here. You see wrestling for the ball. There's the elbow in Gilberto's face. Gilberto does well not to overreact.
Again Fuentes forward. Skips off Valdivia. Settling more into Brazil's favor. Robinho. Bravo got a finger to it. Now he goes out. He's off his line. Robinho back into the middle. Touched up and over. And a golden opportunity for Brazil. Wasted by Mineiro. One of the worst feelings in the world as a goalkeeper. Still keep your eyes on it just in case, but you realize need some help from heaven, and Bravo got it. "30 seconds. With the injuries, substitution, goal. Could be 3, maybe even more minutes to be added by Torres.
Good football by Brazil there.
The CSKA-based Wagner Love against Ormeño. Good hold. Rolls for Robinho, who's now in the center of the park.
Just more like it from Brazil.
Off to Dani Alves, and out comes Bravo. Pretty tall at 6'1", but plays even taller. 3 minutes to be added. Diego said this match would be decisive for Brazil. Might be the understatement. Now that says 2. Well, rather quick stopwatch for Torres. Here comes Gonzalez. Early cross. Suazo can't get there.
It's a great run by Suazo. He wanted and should have expected a better ball by Gonzalez. Had the time, had the space, delivers it way too far ahead of Suazo. Doesn't even give him half a chance to make any contact in it.
Back out for Alves. 24-year-old. Takes his time. Back to Alex. Again with Diego and Robinho, part of that great Santos squad from about 4 or 5 years back. And it looks like Brazil is relatively content with a 1-goal lead at the half. Back for Donny. Little bump, and Robinho whistled again. And now what's got Torres in a dander?
See, referee Torres had some great games in the Libertadores tournament. I saw him perform absolutely wonderful refereeing, and I think he has had a good game up to today. But we go back to that penalty, man. That was a hard call for that gentleman to make, and he was unhesitant, Phil. And I still go back to the fact that he saw the leading with the arm. And when you do that as a defender, you're actually inviting the referee to go and call it against you. They will give you the benefit of the doubt most of the time if it's a tangle of feet, but not when you're reaching in with your arm.
Valdivia. Rolled forward.
Nice, good play.
Trying to spin away with Sanhuesa, off to Valdivia. Chile better hurry, not a lot of time. Valdivia through, Suazo there. And Juan saves the day, and that will do it for the first half.
Tremendous build-up again there by Chile. Lovely, sweet, connecting football. They're going to be around in the second half. They've been bringing it on to Brazil, and the argy-bargy is still being thrown at Torres for that penalty.
Well, Chile had to come back in the last game against Ecuador. Now they have to do it against Brazil. 1-0 at the half. So after his macrame class is done, Carlos Torres puts the whistle back on. Checking on the near side with Sergio Pesota, who is his knitting companion, trying to fix the net behind Claudio Bravo. Actually behind Doni now. And we are underway. Second half, Brazil, Chile. One change, by the way. It is Juan Gonzalo Lorca, the 22-year-old who played for Colo-Colo and looks to be on his way to Dynamo Kiev in the Ukraine. Coming in, still trying to figure out who left. There's Lorca lurking at the top of the box. My guess would be Jara on the near side, or maybe Ormeño, but both of them very involved in the first half, and it would be a little bit of a defensive risk by Acosta.
Tournament play being what it is as well, you hope that the United States can come out and really improve on what was a great defensive performance, and as you say, maybe taking it to a different level offensively. Well, for me, Phil, this team from Chile have done that. This is a better performance by Chile than what they performed against Ecuador, which is amazing because, you know, you're up against Brazil. Again, it's got to be really heartening for him and his countrymen to perform like this.
Julio Baptista in for Anderson. Do you read much into that? Off to the near side. It's Dani Alves getting some help.
I thought Anderson was heavily involved in the opening exchanges in this game, Phil, but really I thought he was pretty disappointing.
And it's Jara out for Lorca. So that one more just trying to take a little bit more of an offensive risk with their second substitution.
Good ball, he's through. Oh!
Humberto Suazo fights for it back. Off to the near side and pulling it down the substitute Iturra with Valdivia. And now Gonzalez bodied off the ball. Another whistle from Torres. 15th foul against Brazil, and it looks like a yellow card against Mineiro.
This portion of the game is brought to you by OleOle.com,
That attack there, that was a great break by Chile. Valdivia again went on that streaking run. You've seen him take off, and poor Suazo just couldn't rein the ball in quickly enough to dispatch that ball because Brazil was square on the back, Phil.
Valdivia on the right. 5 red jerseys at the top. Bending it in back post. Just over the hard charging Rifo and into the waiting arms of Doni. Give an idea of, I guess, some of the situations surrounding this Brazil side. Both games, Helton was on the official roster until late, the official starting lineup. And it wasn't until just moments prior that Doni gets the call. Some people question that in the first game against Mexico, but he's been pretty solid here. Suazo sticks a boot out, getting some help from Sanhuesa. Sanhuesa heading in the wrong direction, though. This will check. Lorca lets it roll. And it looks like it was a deflection, so it's going to go Chile's way. One of the reasons why Lorca pulled up. Lorca in his 7th appearance for Acosta and company. Another one of those prodigies from the 05 World Championships. Gilberto off of Iturra and out. A Brazilian throw. So a rather calm start to what had been a rather, I would say, tempestuous, but definitely active first half.
Well, it's certainly a calm enough start, but it has been Chile that's come out the locker room with a little bit more edge and intent about the attacking play, Phil.
And another foul, Valdivia. They need to get him more involved.
A good footballer.
Arguably the best on the pitch right now, including Robinho.
And again.
Slices it through for
Wants
Suazo.
it back, he's got it!
Now into the area, Valdivia, and a beautiful tackle by Juan, but offside called first.
Rapier attack here. Nice challenge, beautifully timed by Juan, very clean in the box, but again, the Palmeiras player Valdivia, it is a beautiful lancing run and nicely provided that time by Suazo.
And even if that was a foul, it would not have been a penalty because the flag had come up.
Just off. Just.
Now flying down the far side, Robinho freezes Rifo. And Rifo recovers well and then chips it to safety.
Pretty great defending.
Ormeño blasted upfield, could not keep it in play. This Chilean side has now pushed itself up. This is somewhat of the precursor to World Cup qualifying. It's not that long after this tournament starts, just a few weeks that qualifying starts for 2010. A challenge on Silva, and they're going to call the foul against him.
And remember, Acosta is being generous enough to allow some of his brightest young players to take part in the under-20 tournament that's being held on in Canada, and also some big players missing for this Chilean team, Phil. David Pizarro of Roma, of course, and Jimenez of Lazio. You know, this is a coach that's experimenting with 2010 World Cup very much in focus, and there's a lot to like about this Chilean side.
Mark Gonzalez, one of the big things, along with Claudio Bravo.
Yeah, really.
Long for Valdivia. Alex again. The calm in the storm. Through for Julio Bautista. Soft pass forward for Love. Wagner with the shot and a desperate grab from Bravo. That could have been goal bound. Good idea from Brazil, but a great stop by Bravo.
Nicely linked up play here, and typical of the Russian-based player Wagner Love, unhesitant when the ball's dropping, banks that full volley right at the keeper. Never going to trouble Claudio though.
Rifo down, grabbing his hamstring. They've already used 2 subs, one for an injury already. Melendez and Jara out, Iturra and Lorca in. And it looks like Claudio Bravo's saying, can't go. Well, that's what happens. Remember, these guys have played a long European campaign or South American campaign that just finished. And now, in the tight span of time, you're going 3 games in about a week and a half and starting to see some injuries pile up. And if they lose Rifo, that would be big.
He has played well. Rifo, of course, was the gentleman that had probably Chile's best chance with that diving header.
Sergio Rocco, or Sebastian Rocco, might be the guy that comes in his place.
Good to see Baptista getting a nice early touch as well, linking up well with Wagner Love.
Another thing that Acosta might do is drop Ormeño back to that right defensive spot to get more offense in, because they do need a goal. This is your last sub, Ray. What do? Do you stick defender for defender here, or do you roll the dice with about 40 minutes left to go?
I think Acosta's in a good position because, hey, let's be fair, Phil, his team is playing very, very well. They got the 3 points from the first game. Anything coming out of this game against Brazil, I think he would have looked at as a big bonus, because a lot of people thought that this would be a whitewash in favour of the Brazilians. And there is a man that knows he can get his team back into this and square this.
And in some ways, this is also perhaps because he's not going to be available for the next game, but Jorge Vargas is stepping in. So Fuentes will probably slide across even more.
Close.
Vargas, 31-year-old veteran, plays for Red Bull, the Salzburg version, defending champions of Austria after some extended time in Italy, Livorno, Empoli, Regina. So sticking out some experience. And that will do it. Nelson Acosta's day is done. Just hope it's not too serious. We're talking about long term. Lorca pressuring. Nice job as they'll clear it away, and a throw in. Brazil not handling the pressure too well. Gonzalez. Nice.
Good football.
Looking for it back, but to the middle goes Lorca.
Oh, look out.
Suazo just caught it all wrong.
In that box as well, where he loves to be. Great player there. Again, man, I tell you, Chile, it is that's playing the rhythmic, connecting football, but typical of Brazil. They probably learned their lesson against Mexico, looking to springboard an attack here.
Only one draw in the 14 matches between these two sides on neutral territory.
Nothing.
Alves with a bump against Gonzalez, and the whistle blows. 10 wins for Brazil, 3 for Chile. And here on neutral soil in Venezuela, final South American country to host a Copa America. And you know what? As you take a look in the stands and at their team on the field, I think Venezuela's done an awesome job.
Absolutely. $1 billion put into this tournament by the government, and as you said, so far they're getting plenty of worth out of it.
Just over a half hour to go. Torres satisfied. Launched in. Alex charging in. Ball still loose, and now Bravo scrambles back. Fortunate. Nodded aside by Wagner Love. Lorca will track it down. Look how deep Wagner was playing defense. Dunga does not look comfortable. Here's Valdivia. Again, hampered by a groin pull this week in practice, and doesn't look to be slowing him down at all. Gets forward, Suazo.
Oh, that's
has
nice.
help. Suazo, top of the box. And which way it will be. Torres just sending out the semaphores.
Absolutely. Suazo gets pulled down here. This is unquestionably contact made across the top by Alex.
Well,
dangerous position. He said, Phil, you know, this referee not looking to angle to equal anything that was a clear foul. It's a pity that Suazo wasn't an extra yard inside of that box.
Well, I was going to say at halftime when we were talking off camera, you said, you know what, you had a feeling Suazo was going to draw one. He was just a few inches away.
Yeah. Perfect position for the type of free kicks these men and everybody all the world practice. It's always from this position, but these are the ones that have had the dress rehearsals a million times.
More for a right foot, so Gonzalez may be the decoy, but Valdivia solid. Suazo might want it himself the way he's been going.
Oh, it's one of those you can hit with the power and it can find its way into the back of the net. Valdivia, as you said, more of a touch artist. This one looks as if it's going to be blazed. Suazo.
El Mago backs off. It's Suazo. Oh! That one dipped. It looked like it was sailing, but just drops over the bar. So close.
Coach Acosta was thinking this one was in, and I did. Did it take a slight defection?
Looked like he caught it with his toe almost. That was what he was trying to do.
Strange one, wasn't it? And it did look as if it was starting to dip and seemed to just knuckle away from the target.
Well, he already has 2 to his name. Everyone chasing Roque. Don't forget, Mexico against Ecuador. Do or die for Ecuador.
Well, that Mexican side, we'll see how they step up after that brilliant performance. I say brilliant, it was an impressive performance.
Nice layoff by Love. Julio Baptista off to Robinho, stripped away again, and it is Fuentes who's come over to help Marshall Rifo's side. Vargas going to the left. Back to Robinho. Nice pass to the referee, who lets it slip for Elano. Alves.
Good ball.
Julio Baptista down and cleared away by Otura. Looks like Alves has been given instructions by Dunga to stay at home. We haven't seen him push forward here in the second half.
Hasn't seen an awful lot of the ball, certainly Dani Alves, but I'm not sure, Phil. He's playing pretty high.
Ball gets away, and here's Contreras. Back for Bravo. Fighting for Iturra, and he got it.
He's
through his Suazo.
He's off.
But the flag pops up.
Beautifully won. Ooh, he's onside. Terrible decision. Terrible. Dunga very, very lucky there, Dopey.
Off to the far side, stripped away again by Chile, but it'll be a throw-in. Take a look here.
Beautiful.
Nice tackle.
Yeah, clean, but again, arm around him.
Hour mark almost reached. Here's Mineiro. 31-year-old veteran off to the youngster Alves. Slips through. Just seems like too much of 11 players out there. Normally you don't see it from Brazil, but someone does something and then everyone else reacts. The machine seems to be sputtering a touch.
It is. It's a rough sort of fit, isn't it? We all are so accustomed to the pieces of the Brazilian jigsaw fitting in perfectly, seamlessly. This edition doesn't quite look as if it's anywhere near in gear. The Mexicans proved that they could be thrown off. We're staunch in defense, Mexico. And I think in this next game coming up here on Goal TV, we will see a different sort of Mexico. I mean, they upset the big Brazilian apple cart and took a massive scalp there. Well, their confidence is up. Hugo Sanchez is a new saint now, back in Mexico for now. And I think El Tri will come out and really try to press home the issue with a more attacking performance.
Far side, Robinho in a battle with Fuentes. Fuentes sweeps it further downfield. Julio Baptista a little beaten up now. Iturra launching it near side for Gonzalez. Mineiro couldn't keep it in play. First matches of this Copa America seemed as though it was all out. Now you're starting to see the neckties a little tighter around the collar. A little bit more tactics, a little bit more caution. Everyone's seen how the pieces are playing, and Chile's going to have to roll the dice pretty soon, though. Less than a half hour to go. Or if you're Acosta, is 1-0 still in your game plan?
I think, you know, he won't be pleased with this, because certainly Chile has been very much in this game, as much as Brazil. In my opinion, they have been absolutely involved in pressing the issue. It's just not going their way in that final 25 yards.
Deflected to the inside and then slammed off, bouncing. Looked like it hit Silva.
Yeah, gets a little bit of a look of the rub of the green there, Brazil.
And then back for Gonzalez, who's dropping deeper and deeper since the substitution of the injured defender Miguel Grifo. Here's Ormeño, very solid on the right flank.
And what would hurt Acosta, of course, is the disputable penalty. But on the face of this game, I think it'd be a harsh man to say that a 1-1 score would not be the fair result. There's still an awful lot of play left in this second half, of course. And is Brazil going to ratchet it up? Well, they better start getting the finger out of you know where, because his team are starting to look pretty worrying.
20th foul against Brazil. Iturra. Gonzalez, almost a left back now. They need to, if they really want it, and you can almost see Of course, I know he's talking to Gonzalez
He wants a
specifically.
little bit more central movement from the boys up front, Phil. Well, a little bit static there, Costa's saying. He wants more dynamic movement,
Off to Valdivia.
better
Lorca.
moving targets.
Out for a Brazil throw. Well, Acosta, his second stint with his Chilean side. Of course, back in the '98 World Cup in France, they made it to the round of 16, where Brazil knocked them out.
Yeah.
Made it to the semis in '99 of this tournament.
Well, in that final 16, if you remember, Phil, that was a hard game. Brazil just got by. I thought Chile were a little bit unfortunate not to win that game in Germany.
There's no Bam Bam, no Salas now. Suazo kind of assuming the mantle.
In '88 World Cup, I beg your pardon.
Suazo has not had many opportunities here today, but he has been on fire of late. Behind only Huntelaar in the total haul last year, and 2 goals against Ecuador in this tournament. Through ball gets away from Iturra. Mineiro into the middle. Julio Baptista. Mineiro.
Good play.
Robinho
Nicely again.
lost control of the ball and wanted the foul. I agree. Let's take another look at this one, but it looked like he realized that he was not going to get it. But then you take a look here, and Gonzalez did have the hands out.
Certainly strange decision here by referee Torres.
It looks like Robinho is going into the book for dissent. I don't think you can really blame Torres because of the angle that he was at, but the linesman on the near side, Rodolfo Otero, had a clear view.
Absolutely.
Well, that's the 3rd yellow against Brazil. 3 also against Chile. Gilberto Mineiro and now Robinho. While it's Jara, Suazo, and Vargas for La Roja. Cleat out. Dangerous play. Again, according to my book, that's only the 9th foul against Chile, less than half of Brazil's haul. Elano taking it right on the boot. 36th minute. Wagner Love pushed down in the box by Rifo. And Robinho would convert the penalty. Dunga. Let's get going, he says. Fuentes hurtling over Julio Baptista. Still trying to figure out where he's going to be playing next year. Still Real Madrid property, but played well in spurts for Arsenal.
Certainly did.
Nearing the midway point. No doubt where Robinho will be playing next year, and probably for many years to come.
Yeah, but who's going to be his boss?
3 men lined up. Which way will they go? Pushing and shoving, and Torres wants to calm things down. Keep your hands to yourself. Ball in front, glancing header wide. Who did it come off of? Off of Brazil in a goal kick.
Good tight defending this by Chile. And again, the man in the dugout wanting more movement, a little bit too static. Both sets of forwards. You saw before
Looks like the rain
Acosta
coming
coming
back.
out and saying that he wants a little bit more mobility from Suazo. That's a lovely touch.
Back heel Suazo over to Lorca. He has added something since coming off the bench here. Trying to freeze Alex.
Clear, too late.
Mineiro coming back, and they will get the corner though.
Lorca had the opportunity once he turned Alex, and that window of opportunity opened for a split second. Couldn't deliver the cross.
Alex 6'2", Juan 6 foot, and that might be cutting him short a little bit. Won't be easy. Suazo over to the corner. Chupete to the back post, and an easy grab by Doni. Now, quickly whipping it out near side for Baptista. Back heels it. Trying to keep it in play was Mineiro, and it's out for the throw-in. Baptista. Juan. Gilberto.
Good tackle. Yep.
Wagner reaching from behind.
Fuentes wins it cleanly, but as you said, Wagner Love pulling it back. Stripped beautifully by Fuentes.
Launched long. Regained by the green and yellow and blue.
They've settled down a lot more in the last 5-7 minutes, Phil. Brazil withstanding that real impressive coming out, that onslaught in the early going Chile. But Brazil absorbed it and they're starting to find each other a little better now, threateningly.
No more substitutions for Acosta. They have to figure it out themselves.
Oh, that's unlucky.
Robinho hurdles the challenge, and they're going to call a foul, even though I don't know if there was even contact.
I think there was, my friend. The slight tackle is made, and he goes in for the ball, but he just gets a little bit of Robinho, who was trying to hurdle past.
Alves very good on these crosses. Afonso Alves still on the bench. Wagner not the strongest in the air, but if you bring up your big guys.
Needs better service this time by Dani Alves, because Chile have been defending these set pieces very well.
Ball launched into the middle, knotted down by Alex, back post one. Can't keep it in play, and it's out. Another bullet dodged by Chile. Bill Shane, Ray Hudson with you. 1-0 the score. Brazil on the penalty. Chile still in striking distance here, and they have to take some confidence, Ray, in the fact that they came up with 2 goals in the last 10 minutes last game.
Right, they know they have got goals in this team. It's not exactly schoolboys they're up against this time, though, Phil. I mean, the Brazilians are looking pretty strong at the back.
Making his way through the maze, Sanuesa.
He's in.
Suazo.
Oh, that could have back! Brilliant!
Suazo again.
Magical!
But it's 1 against 5.
He's still got it!
Oh, and stopped by Juan on the doorstep.
Suazo's pace opens up Brazil. They're square, and Suazo does everything right. Don't think he's just dancing on the ball. He pulls it in beautifully. He's trying to find that little bit of a passage into the goal, but it's denied time and time again. Suazo pulls it here. Magic. Puts him on his backside. The goalkeeper comes. He takes it past him, and they're all coming at him. He does his damnedest. The square ball was on to Lorca, but Suazo goes for the goal.
And from a Chilean philosophy perspective, look how long it took for Suazo to get any help.
Yeah, really. But tremendous pace to release himself. The way he pulled that ball back and put, I think it was Juan on his back like a tortoise.
But then give Juan credit. He pops back up and makes the stop.
Sure. They were all floating back then and again.
Juan forward.
Suazo just...
The beast.
Wouldn't settle in front of him when he was facing the goal. That was the worst part about it. Every time Suazo got a good chance, he was square to the goal.
Robinho for Alves on a overlap on the right side. Deflected out by Contreras. And a corner kick.
Every time Chile have got behind, they've caught this Brazilian team square and flat. It hasn't been the type of cut and thrust passing football that they've been able to get through Brazil. They have been denied so many times that time, but this man on the ball and his counterpart Gonzalez has had better opportunities when he's been played in behind the Brazilian backline.
18 minutes left in regulation. Suazo again, amazing how the ball finds him.
He's got a free kick here.
23rd foul against Brazil, 11 against Chile.
Good control, strong, good dexterity, great skill. The kick was leveled at him. Referee
Gonzalez
making a good call.
Even though he's got a lot of defensive responsibilities on the set play, Suazo's shot deflected. Back to Gonzalez. Cleared back to midfield, but stolen right back by Contreras. Veteran defender gets it out as the rain starts to pick up pace. Ormeño. Acosta has to be pleased with the effort.
No, I don't think it's just all effort either, Phil. I mean, let's be fair to these red shirts. They've played some nice football. Certainly a team that you would like to see advance, aren't they?
100%.
And a fun team to watch.
Suazo and Valdivia and Gonzalez. And here they come again. Which way will this spin? Out comes Donny. In fact, so far through almost 180 minutes, Chile has been more entertaining than Brazil. Reach-in foul by Gilberto Silva. Quickly restarted Lorca. Suazo was leaning in. The pass went towards the goal, and now coming across is Iturra. Play on. Back out for Armenia, behind Iturra. Things just not clicking now for Chile. Here comes Fuentes strong. Wagner Love is going to have more articles in Globo and Folha. Not quite that dominant attacker that Brazil is normally used to. They don't have Fred, the 06 veteran. Broke a metatarsal in his boot. Ball launched in front, cleared away. Wagner Love did get the penalty, though, and has done some strong defensive work up front. That might not be enough if you're Brazilian, though. Juan, nice job to win it. Off to Elano. Mineiro near side, Robinho. Chile disciplined in the back, but now Robinho beats them.
Wanted Wagner Love coming back onto that ball. Wagner really caught in all sorts of molasses there. Slow. Just not on the same wavelength as Wagner Love and Robinho.
Elano with a hard hit on Valdivia. Which way will it go? It looks like it's against the Brazilian.
Just a pure clash of players here. Valdivia not pulling out. Wins it fair, but then gets the full weight hammering through him. Elano not pulling out either. Captain of Chile has had an outstanding game. They don't want to see this man leave the field.
And they don't have any more substitutes, which would be another reason. Suazo still sprinting to the sideline for instructions and some water. $10 million to move from Colo-Colo to Monterrey. You mentioned 35 goals for Klaus-Jan Huntelaar, 34 for Suazo last year. And it appears as though he's just as red hot. There's the collision right in front of Torres.
Truly hard to say who was at fault there. Two players intent and not backing down an inch.
Some refs might not even blow the whistle.
In England, probably.
Well, Elano, who supposedly committed the foul, according to all the gestures from Torres, is not even on the pitch now, and getting set to check in is Josue out of Vitoria. Sao Paulo player for the last couple of years after coming through the Goiás system. And it looks as though the yellow card will come out on Elano, adding insult to injury, and Valdivia can hear the church bells all the way from Caracas. Took it right in the ribs. Fourth yellow against Brazil. Gilberto Mineiro, Robinho, and now Elano. Seventh yellow of the game. Josue only his second cap for the 27-year-old. His first was back against Ghana in March.
Yeah, that's what they do. Traditionally, Brazil come here and use the Copa America as a real testing ground for these young pups. A great atmosphere to challenge in. Nice ball to Suazo, nice ball leading
Slots it on the overlap. Bormenio ruled offside.
Suazo just a little bit hesitant in dispatching this one. Just off.
That one appears to be a correct call, and in this tournament and in recent days, sometimes you're not always sure. There's Vargas stepping in for the ailing Riffo, and he's even pushing forward on some of these. So now all of the subs have been used for Brazil as well. Alves coming in for the injured Maicon, Anderson departing for Baptista, and now Josue for Elano. Suazo just can't get there. Alex, but then he takes it casually and gives up the throw-in.
He's
quickly
in.
taken, touched back towards the top of the box. Valdivia challenging. The captain Gilberto Silva under pressure. Alves being mugged in the box, and now the whistle finally blows.
Smart play by Suazo on that early throw-in. Tampa starting to fray now.
Here's Iturra coming in from behind.
And really, it was rash defending there because there was plenty of players around Dani Alves. Iturra reaching in, getting the yellow card for that whack on Dani Alves. It's a shame because I really thought that the three Chilean players probably would have dispossessed Dani Alves had he not been kicked.
Ball deflected.
Good tackle.
Robinho.
Great slide.
Lorca, dangerous play. The ball was trapped.
Yeah, but the ball was still moving within his legs, but the referee calling that one against him.
For future generations of Lorcas. 10 minutes to go. Plus time added on. Chile impressive. Brazil has done enough. And you still sense that they are just one pass away.
They always are. We always know that as long as those beautiful yellow shirts have got the ball, there is a chance that they will hurt you.
Alves wants support down the wing. They get the give and go down the line. Robinho. Deflected inside.
Brilliant.
Alves back post.
Wonderful disguised by Robinho, seeing with his beautiful vision, but that incredible back heel.
Gilberto looking for Robinho. Chilenad out of danger. Gonzalez needs some help. Valdivia. Here comes Gilberto. Iturra again. He's got to remember he's got a yellow. Chile cannot afford to lose another man. Suazo with the lift and the sombrero pass forward. Iturra out to the flank.
Oh, that's
Nice
neat.
ball.
It's good football by Chile.
Valdivia to Iturra.
Got numbers in the box. He's still got it.
Gilberto.
Brilliant.
Iturra.
Magic is on.
Valdivia. Deflected by Juan. And he had three men on the backside.
A superb football by Chile, right from the back, winning the ball and then flooding down.
Well, full complete effort, offense and defense. Through ball now on the overlapping run, Robinho. Barring that second half by Argentina against the U.S., this Chilean performance here today might be one of the most impressive.
Absolutely right, sir. Iturra and Valdivia again at the heart of everything that is going on well in those red shirts, but again strong at the back, winning the ball clean and square and then running onto it beautifully.
Fourth quarter of the game for Brazil.
Yep, his heart would have vented into his mouth right there.
Alves launched out of the area. Suazo.
Tireless.
Valdivia looks like he took a hit again. Remember that collision with Elano kind of knocked him for a loop. Lorca. Alves chested for Mineiro. Now for Robinho with space. Robinho runs into Contreras. He was trying to round him, and a yellow card against Pablo. Not sure about that one.
Yeah, Robinho worrying Contreras, basically turns and does nothing. And it's Robinho that really runs into Contreras. What's he supposed to do? Really red carpet out for him. I don't think that was a yellow card at all.
Fifth yellow against Chile.
I mean, if Contreras steps across into Robinho, absolutely. But he did not. Basically remain motionless.
Bravo setting the wall. Three men, and it's Alves. He can shoot from here, but This is not Sevilla. Plays a more disciplined game wearing the national team kit. 6 men in the area. He does shoot, and it skips up into the arms of Bravo. A good save. That was a lot harder shot to take than it appeared. And now Brazil wins it again in the midfield. Baptista near side.
A lovely ball out wide.
Robinho. Stolen nicely by, looked like Contreras again, top of the box.
Oh, lovely!
Passed off, Robinho chips it home for the coup de grace. Brazil with the 2-0 lead. Beautiful goal for Brazil.
This is a real samba goal, let me tell you. There's plenty of cut and thrust and fluff and pluck about this. It's Wagner Love who dishes this one off to Robinho. Wagner settles it beautiful and sends Loopy. Here it is. Lovely settle. There's that lovely little red carpet pass to Robinho, and he sweetly stabs it home over the attacking Claudio Bravo. There's a lovely reigning, typical Brazilian first-time magic touch by Wagner. Provides it unselfishly when he could have rasped it himself. Wagner Love there at Claudio Bravo, but he dished it off to Robinho, and he doesn't disappoint the provider. Beautiful goal for Brazil, Phil.
Now what does this mean? That goal is huge because it knocks Chile down to a -1 and draws Brazil back even. So in effect, tiebreaker, Brazil gets the win and the advantage on goals.
Funny old game, I tell you, because this has got to be one of those games where Chile can take an awful lot of pride out of their performance, man. A little deceptive in the scoreline, but there was nothing deceptive about that goal other than it being absolutely brilliant. That's unlucky.
Gilberto, long switch.
Great ball.
Again, Robinho with Chile taking chances. They're starting to pay the price. Collision inside, but the whistle stays silent. So 2-0 on 2 goals from Robinho, one from the spot and one on a silver platter out of Wagner Love's grasp. And now Julio Baptista, as Torres says, play on again.
Lovely sprightly play, wasn't it, by Robinho with that run onto Wagner Love, believing that his countryman would be able to control it nicely and provide that Pelé-type pass. And I say Pelé-type pass and think of the Carlos Alberto run behind Pelé in that great World Cup 1970. It was very similar in its own sweet way, but Robinho taking the delicate approach. And Carlos Alberto, remember that torpedo that he unleashed against Italy.
Nice work by Josue. Baptista couldn't get it. Chile needs a goal here. Again, Copa America, unlike the Gold Cup, it is the standard tiebreaker.
Well, I'll tell
differential in goals for before you go head to head.
I think Chile deserve at least to get on the goal scoring sheet here, Phil, for the part that they've played in the game.
Again, Robinho just toying with them, and there's a third hat trick, and a beautiful looking hat at that.
Robinho absolutely shreds Chile for a very cruel thrust. Magical by the little Real Madrid jewel. And what a pleasure this will be to look at again. Dunga's seen the gods of the game perform with him. He hasn't seen one like this for a long time. It's a lovely run, but this is the finishing result. Beautiful diamond finish, pinpoint accurate. He could have squared it to Wagner Love. He says, I see you, buddy, I don't need you.
So another hat trick in this tournament, and this one belongs to the Brazilian Robinho. Santa Cruz has some company atop the scoring chart.
Brazil truly rubbing the salt deep into a brave Chilean team who was just saying have performed extremely well. They've just been outdone by the Brazilian magic on their attacks, being rapier quick. As always in Brazil's DNA, Phil, it's in them all game long. And we were saying you can never rest against them. They produce those sorts of players, not just razzle-dazzle, step-over merchants. That's not what Robinho's about. That run that was over a good maybe 100 yards, you could say, when it started. The dispatch is emphatic, full of belief.
And again, notice they were going at the substitute Vargas, the veteran. Looked more old than veteran-like on that play. Robinho, can he get a fourth? Huge significance on that third goal, by the way, for the U.S. and Colombia.
Good ball.
Launched in front, glancing header gets rid of it. Looked like that might have been Vargas again. U.S., of course, -3, but a goal to the good. Colombia -5. All of a sudden, and unfairly so, by the way they play today.
Oh, sure.
Chile in danger of being beaten out for one of the third-place spots should the results fall that way.
It would be a cruel blow.
Of course, the U.S. and Colombia still have to worry about winning a game. Chile already took care of that in their opener.
It's all about putting the ball in the back of the net. When the last words of the football is ever, so that's what it's about. Never mind the pretty patterns. Mexico will tell you, the great cracking little Mexican team now that is improving hand over fist with every game under Hugo Sanchez. In my opinion, he's timed it perfectly. Sanchez said, I just need a little bit more time. Hold faith with me. And then he turned Brazil over, not by beautiful, brilliant, scintillating football, but by putting the ball in the back of the net, basically on the two chances that Mexico had.
Well, we'll find out in just moments because they'll be taking on Ecuador.
And as I said, I think it'll be a better performance by Hugo's men.
90th minute almost done, and it's Robinho again.
Look
Lays
out.
it off for Alves.
He's
Back
got it.
for Robinho, and it just spins away.
Just a little bit behind Robinho that time. He tried to swivel on the turn and bring it in.
Here they come, Chile with Lorca.
Good ball.
They deserve better than the scoreline right now. The step over. Chip deflected out, corner kick Chile, and they'll have about 90 seconds left on the clock.
Deflection. Yeah, again, look at this again. Great look.
Unfair if you're a goalkeeper.
For sure. And again, remember that square ball for Wagner Love. That was an absolute tap in with the back of his backside for Wagner had he been provided it, but that little artful dodger Robinho ignored him.
Sun starting to set through the clouds. Had ball loose inside and cleared away. And for Chile, the clouds over the face of Acosta. Nice stop by Done on a pretty nice shot from 30 yards out. 1 minute left, and there is little doubt who's going to win this one. It took them a while to get the engine started, but with Robinho at the wheel, Brazil is moving strong.
It's the merciless ruthlessness of their attack. When they do get the opportunity, we could probably wait until the moon turns to cheese and poor Chile, for all of their industry and creativity, haven't had that slice of luck or that fortune or that bravery in their attack to crack Brazil's dam. On the other side of the spectrum, Brazil have just pounced down their throat and ripped the heart right out of their chest with their attacks.
Down goes Alves. Solid filling in for Maicon.
You see it, Phil, generation after generation. That's what this team does.
And they have done enough here today. Brazil 3, Chile 0. And Robinho with all 3 goals. Happy-looking Brazilian, plenty of reason to be. And Wagner Love, maybe not getting a lot of love so far in this tournament, but he played a big role. Take a look. Robinho with the 3, and Mexico and Ecuador were watching. And now at Maturin, they'll clear the field and step back onto the pitch for the second from this Group B second leg. For Ray Hudson, I'm Phil Shane. Glad you could join us on Gold TV's coverage of the 2007 Copa America. Don't move. We've got more coming up.